hello, and welcome aboard. There we go. We're now looking at visuals as well. So, we're currently... we just had a driver change on our mail train today, and we're in Darlington Station as we were at the end of the last video. We weren't in this platform, but we were actually over in... let's see, where am I? Which way am I facing? Yeah, we were at the other end of the station in the last video. Anyway, so what we're doing today is we're just heading up to Middlesbrough, which is just about a 15-mile trip, so quite a short trip for us today. And we're driving the class 67. Is it 67? Yeah, it's a 67. Today, it's a mail train, as you can see, and it's just been parked up here for a quick driver change, and continuing on our way up to sorry, set the DRA. We're a guts train. Parking brake is off. Engine started. Brake test. Can't do it. Passenger doors. Passenger guts. No, I've set that the wrong way. There we go. Just set lights out now. Lights are here with this thing. So I'm just gonna. There's a way to get this. Daytime, there we go. That's our lights now set up. Parking brake's indicating as being on. I'll just push the parking brake off button. I believe though when I do this, that's released. That's the brakes released. And we'll just pull away. The train thinks it's going to be a 30-minute drive, so it must be quite a slow speed limit all the way up to Middlesbrough. Come on. Right, I'm going to bring the hood back because this is just getting frustrating. I'll make it more opaque so it's not so much of an eyesore. There we go. Brakes off. That's off. There's the engine. The train started. Our RPM's now increasing. That's a bit of a problem. We've got a broken down train. Anyway, as I say, I do like the look of this train a lot. Also, that's one thing I think is absolutely awesome with this train. AWS resets down there, isn't it? Yeah. Is oh hello mate, yeah, thanks for the paperwork. And I can open and close both the windows. And it's not like, you know, I just like that. DRA off. Is that what's stopping me pulling away? That's what's stopping me pulling away. So just going to pull out of the station, as I said. Both brakes are off. And then from Middlesbrough, I think we're going to have to head back down the line. We'll head to something like York on a passenger train. Power wash up already. So we do get a 30 limit coming up quite soon after we get out of the yard, but still I'd rather keep it low, keep it slow. That's my policy. But yeah, that's the way up towards Newcastle. It's in my geography of the North East isn't as good as I thought it was. I'm going to go back inside now. I'm fully off. Because we're on the level, but the inertia of this train's enough to... Right, that's a 25 limit we're in. Yeah, we're off down the branch line, which looks like it's a 30. No, it's a 60. That's pretty decent. We're at a 40 limit now. Yep, and we're off down the branch line. As I say, I do like this train though. It's very, very interesting handling characteristics. I've got to say, as I say, I saw this game and I think I saw it on Special actually. I thought, I'll have a go with that. Never really did. And I'm back to loving driving trains again. I mean, this is the best bit as well. Look, cute little horn. That's an AWS horn. No, it's not. I'll do that just in case. 35 limit. Coming up. This is the branch line, as I said, off to Middlesbrough. So we're just taking some post to the mail depot at Middlesbrough. I think we'll end up stopping the train in the platform at Middlesbrough, just because of the limitations of the platform, but that's just the scenario I've kind of driven myself up. That we're doing an important mail delivery. Last minute mail. This train is, as I've mentioned, I think, it's fairly interesting to drive because it's obviously primarily designed to haul cargo around, but its acceleration leaves a lot to be desired, should we say. I'm going to show you. Come on, little train. I suppose it's still spooling up, but that's full power. You can tell by the amount of smoke that's belching out the top of the train. Also with this, it stays in one of 3 positions, which I can't do because I'm moving. But it doesn't have, some trains have incremental ones. This train doesn't. And that's a whistle sign. So. Also, for some reason, DRA somehow says back cruise control. Watch. DRA on. It tends, for some reason, for me anyway, works so that it holds about the same speed you limited it to. It's interesting points there. Probably just some a closed line. Well, definitely just a closed line. There's a lot of them around here. I was doing a driving lesson yesterday, just north of here, or where I am, not north of here, north of where I am, which is way north of here, while we are on the game. And I was driving along, and out the blue there's a railway crossing, and it's because they hadn't removed it after the area had been open casted, and they'd used that specific train as a... Oh crumbs, not emergency braking, not emergency braking. I must have been just too slow there. Oh well, we needed to get down to 30 miles an hour for this speed change. That's why it was sounding. I must have been just too... I must have been literally just within half a second of being too late. Now 12 miles to Middlesbrough. I can even show you roughly what direction it's in. Middlesbrough, it's off in that direction. Let's look just to have a top-down view of the map. So that's obviously Middlesbrough station. What I'll do is I'll not stop it on the platform, but we can pull through the station and just stop in one of these spots here. So we'll just say, what's this station here? Tees Yard. Is that all linked through? No. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, we're here and we're stationary. Alright. That opacity is starting to annoy me now because I can't actually read it properly. I am just trying to get this game sorted for me, guys. So there we go. That's probably a bit over the top, but hey, who cares? So, reverses forward, brakes off, reverses forward. Okay. Everything's off. Off. Forward. Right. I get this every single time, and I sometimes work out what the problem is, not always. So recycle the brake fully. Yeah, there we go, we're off. Just had to recycle the brake. Let the RPM get up a bit. I'll stick the sander on just because it's a spring day. It's a spring morning, so there'll be a little bit of dew on the tracks, which will make it a little bit slippery for the train. And bear in mind we're coming up on a 30 limit, so we've got to keep the train at a sensible speed. Sander comes off. I'll pull back to about 50% power. That's set. And that's free cam. We're behind the fence because we're good train spotters. These are the mail trucks you get on British Railways. I think they've modernised them a little bit since that model was designed, but who cares? They look good. Going past Dinsdale. Very British name, that. But no, as I said, wrong one every single blooming time. That's where we are. That's Darlington, I'm imagining. That's Middlesbrough. We'll just... Yeah, it's Thornaby. Oop. Right, no emergency brake this time. Good. That's a caution for a 30 sign. A little bit of braking. If you use the engine brake, or what's it properly called? The loco brake. It's not particularly effective on this train, I find. So I mean, I can ram it on full and nothing really happens. Whereas if you use the train brake, which is that one, it can stop the train quite quickly. So I prefer using the loco brake for just making small speed adjustments like this one that we just had to make here. And then using the the train brake for emergency stops and that kind of thing. Okay, and we're coming through a station. Stick our head out the window, see who's hanging about. Hello. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Hi, twins. Triplets. There's another one. I love this line though, because obviously I didn't realise that you could go up to Middlesbrough with this DLC. So that's why I'm doing it now. And and do all the branch lines. I mean, I've got the other DLC, which was the this, but in the 1960s, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Ooh, Scanias. Hashtag squirrel. Let's do another train drive-by. drive-by, that's what I'm going to call them. Right, this is a rush whistle sign, so. Limit, there we go. Didn't even speed. Woo! I'm just gonna say, buses around this part of the world are green, mate. They got the wrong bus! In the overtaking lane. See ya later, suckers! Where's he going to? Oh. Oh, it's Teesside Airport we're going past. I could go off November Victor. This actually, they do mention the station on the charts, because that's one of the things they put in the textual data for airports. It's a free camp upwards. Ah, crumbs. Free camp. I reckon that's meant to be the airport over there. I didn't realise the train line ran this close. For some reason, if you do that, it's like zoom up and zoom down at the train. Go way faster. Hashtag physics. Oh, look, that's actually. I didn't realise that. Honestly, there was a train line running this close to. I know that the road's there, but that's look, that's Jetstream. Just gotta check my speed. Nah, that's okay. That's a 707. That's a bit small, but hey, Teesside Airport. Oh, it's Teesside Airport out there. I know where we are now. 9 miles to go to Middlesbrough. 15 minutes. Not much more of my terrible train driving that you need to put up with now. It's a very enjoyable train, as I say, it's the Class 67. It's, you know, I was thinking also as well, I'm going to say for the next leg with my train journeys. Look, here it comes! Got to say, he's flying about at the same speed as a fast jet, but hey-oh. Is he going to land? Ooh, rip. He's not. Ripperoonie. Hey, we timed that extraordinarily well, because there's like two aircraft landing at Teesside every day. And I swear that's not what landing lights look like when you get close up. So approach lights look like when you get up close and personal. But anyhow. Okay, we need to be down at 50 and 45 for getting through Allen's West. Platform 2. A little bit of braking on again. See, I'm doing that. That's 70% braking. Actually, that's a bit better braking action than I've had in the past with this train. I'm gonna say I love this train though. Here comes another one. Wow, there's 2 pieces of traffic landing at Teesside. Impressive it is. Drive by. I might have underestimated what that was going to do with the camera. It's Teesside Airport. I'm not sure if it's closed or not, because it's got no scheduled flights to it. And the only people that use it are the air ambulance in Cobham Aviation. But who knows? Oops. One. Cockpit. Then we do that. That's what we do. And that puts you at the other end of the engine. You've got to be careful with the with everything here, basically, because we've got Allen's West, and then less than half a mile later we've got Eaglescliff. We need to be down to 30, 25 even, between the two of them. So I'm not going to slow down, but I'm not going to speed up either. quite an industrial area around here, if I remember correctly, and it gets more industrial as you get into Middlesbrough. Actually, I've just realised I'm actually familiar with Middlesbrough a bit more than I think I am. Okay, just a little bit more braking now, just to get us down to... Actually, we'll just go power off. That's going to be the best one. Wonder what that track's for. I was also using the loco brake, that's why I've got such good response times. Thought it didn't seem right. Zoom back to normal field of view. Okay, a bit more braking action now. 20% braking on loco brake, that should be enough. So it's got signals, but they're like very vintage signals. And then it disappears. Since we're approaching it idle, I'm going to just sound the horn as we enter the station. For some reason it won't let me do sound it twice. And for this crossing, which hasn't got barriers. Oh, it has, it's just got the rubbish ones. That's a 60 limit, but we ain't accelerating, we're just going to keep the same speed going on. Because there's very little point accelerating when in 0.2 miles per time we need to be at 30, which we're not going to be at. And braking off. Yeah, as I say, we are entering the residential parts of Middlesbrough now, the outskirts, so just be careful we don't make too much noise. I think we are doing quite well. Actually, we need to be down to 25, so I'm going to stick a bit more braking in there. I reckon this turn's the reason the limit's so slow. And brakes off. I'm going to keep this on because I'm just not familiar with the line. Actually, we'll go to minimal HUD and then that'll make me look like a pro, won't it? The pro, which I'm not, but minimal. Back. Continue. Okay, so we are at 23. That's fine for this 25 limit. Oh, I wonder where that line leads to. Where does it lead to? On here. Central player. Portal. Oh, it just leads it's on to dead end one. And so it's a bit late on the draw there, I was just checking where that line led to. Okay, we're in a 60 limit zone, so we'll start accelerating away now that we've safely got through. I'm actually going to do a stream with Tran in the future. But I want to do a capture session with just some of my family and some of my friends who are major art geeks, because I know every single one of them loves trains as well. And I think, you know, there's something about trains, because I had a Hornby train set which I hadn't used for 10 years. I got it out yesterday and set it up in the living room and just playing with it. Then I went upstairs and you know, because I had to do some more recording, and I went out. Then I came back about 7 o'clock at night after a driving lesson, and I noticed the trains were all in different positions. AFDS. There we go. AWS even. But, so, my dad's been playing with the train set. He'll never admit it, but... just proves, though, doesn't it, that trains, no matter how old you are, you still want to play with them. Let's face it. No, we don't want to accelerate anymore. I'm going to go up to position 2, 1. Okay, fully idle. I can support that. And back off the braking. If I just literally just do a jolt application like that. We've got an amber light, we can pass on amber. Just got to be conscious of the fact that 0.8, there's a train somewhere in that sector there, apparently. So we may have to stop sooner than anticipated. Still got 5 miles to go. That's Thornaby Station. Alright, we've been moved over onto the other line. Because if you get like the speed board with like an arrow pointing off at an angle, it means that the speed limit applies for trains going onto a different line, basically. So just a little bit of direct braking to bring us down to 45. That's 45, braking off. Be careful passing through Thornbury, we've got to be down to 20 for that. Gotta say, the one thing I don't like about branch line driving is the constant speed changes. And we've got to do the reverse of this route to take ourselves back down to York. I think what we might do is we might, after this, we might go off, get in a car and drive down to Teesside and jump in one of our aircraft and fly it up to Newcastle. Just so that we can, after we do that, we can take a train. Well, we can actually do, I've got the West Highland route, which would be quite an interesting one to do, I think, personally. Okay, a bit of direct braking. I'm just going to stick about 50% because you've got to get down to 20. Nice gentle deceleration. There we go. I'm not sure if this is the tunnel or a bridge. I think it's just a bridge. I love the acoustics of this tunnel. Right, for some reason, apparently you're meant to get acoustics when you go through, like, echoey acoustics when you go through tunnels and stuff, but apparently you don't anymore. I'm just going to lose the direct braking. That's pretty cool. Having obviously, oh, it's an Arriva bus. That's the realistic buses for this part of the world. That colour, kind of bluey green. There's something about driving your train over a bridge which I just find incredibly cool. I know it's like very, very basic stuff, but I just find it incredibly cool. I've got a slight downhill gradient, so just apply a little bit of braking again. Just to lose 3 miles an hour off so we can get below 20 down to Thornaby Station. And that's braking off. And we're back to a green signal, so whatever it was must have been staying on. Oh, must have taken the turn off for Middlesbrough. Must have been heading on to Sunderland or something like that. That was the wrong system. It's weird though. And I want to turn the instrument backlighting on. Just no, I can't. I'll just do go lights in general. There we go. 12% seems to be a nice power setting. The horn, by the way, is down. Okay, I thought it was down there. Think of a different train, I think. Yeah. Oh, spacebar's the horn for me. Hello. 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 I never amuse myself enough for one day. Okay, so we can afford to, actually we can't, not really, we're doing 19, even with the acceleration of this train would be speeding. I'm gonna say I'm proud of myself not to have done any speeding so far this trip, but yeah, I'm not risking it. Even though it's 3 miles to go, we'll accelerate up to 55. There we go. Didn't even speed. Look at me. I'm just pulling a bit of power off. Just purely on the grounds that it's a 35 right now. We're going up to a 55, but Middlesbrough station is 3 miles away. And we're going to be going through a yard, so that'll have a slow speed limit on. Yeah, things like that yard over there. It looks pretty cool, but... There we go. I thought you could zoom it out more than what I've been doing so far. Oh, crumbs, I'm speeding. See, I said I wasn't speeding at all this trip. Power fully off. And just enough air brake pressure. There we go. Okay, that's a 55 limit. Officially wrong handle again. Can't wait to get back into my Voyager. What a nice little Voyager. Yeah, see, this is the yard we're entering here. We'll just go for it. As I said, we'll might stop a little bit short, just uncouple this, then grab the train at the station, stop the train at the station. They got some 45 limit coming up, so I'm just going to come back to maybe power setting 1. Yeah, this is a big motorway bridge. I've got to say, I remember that the yard being a lot bigger than this that you drive through. I think the yard gets bigger as you get to the other side. But I suppose if you're looking down, you'd be seeing mainly all of that maze over there if you're looking off the bridge, so yeah. But anyway, as I said, it's quite a big shopping centre that. I've been in it once. that billboard about? Fly anywhere in Europe. Okay, that's good. I can do that myself, but... I'm just gonna hold the 45 limit all the way. There's absolutely no point in me accelerating and braking. Alright, I'm just gonna stick a little bit extra power in to maintain this speed. Okay, we'll just go between idle 1 and 2 to maintain the speed we want to be maintaining. Yeah, I'm going to have to start decelerating once we hit that 45 limit there. Maybe even sooner. Anyway, so before I kind of fall asleep driving a train, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the idea I had with vlogs. I've seen a few YouTubers doing daily vlogging. Now, frankly, I don't think enough goes on in my life for me to do daily vlogging and it to be remotely interesting. So I'm going to do like a weekly vlog, highlights of my week. Very boring experience, let me tell you. But yeah, so if you want to see some daily vlogs, mash that like button, please, and enjoy. Well, yeah, a little bit of braking is going to have to come on now. Graduate side flat is quite high braking. We'll just stop the train and platform 2, and then the shunters will come and take the train to where it needs to be. Right, power fully off now. Or brakes fully off, I should say. Power's fully off already. A little bit of power just to stop us stopping. And keep us about the 20 mark. And we'll aim to stop with the whole train in the station. So coming up on Middlesbrough station now, where we'll be finishing the video in about 2 minutes. Again, I've never been to Middlesbrough station, so I'm not entirely sure how realistic this is. That's a red light because we're that's not the way the transporter bridge looked the last time I went on it. As I said, we're just going to pull in the station now. Power can come fully off. I'll just look for guidance to get into the station. That's your 25 limit coming at the station, but there's no point us even looking at that limit because we'll be stopping the second we get into or anywhere near the station. I'm going to stick the whole train in the station, and I don't need to because obviously we're transporting post today. But we'll pretend we're doing a driver swap for a shunter driver who knows the yard better than I do. Apparently my dad used to work in that office over there. He's just kind of standing on my shoulder right now and telling me this. But yeah. So folks, that's Darlington to Middlesbrough, coming to a conclusion. Just keep it going. I'm just glide the train in. I'm fully powered off now, as you can see. No power at all. 50, 55, loco brake. Come on to. The reason the primary reason I've got being careful is those. I thought, yeah, there's a crossing there for the passengers to get onto this platform if they're wanting to catch a train. So I've got to be aware of that when I'm choosing my stopping point. Just easing the train in. And I'm just going to make sure that we're clear of this before I stamp on the brakes any further. And that seems to be the only way for the passengers to get across to this platform. So I'm just going to have to be careful I don't stop on it. Yep, brakes to graduate the top lap. And there we go. So we've made it to Middlesbrough station, folks. Parking brake is on. Engine stop. Welcome to Middlesbrough, folks. So thanks for joining us today on a rather interesting, I should say, trip in the... I think that's the way to do it. And that's the end of this quick drive scenario. So as you can see, I've put the tail lights on the train, just so nobody crashes into us, whilst we're waiting for the other driver to come and take the train over. And we've reached the end of this quick drive scenario. So that's it from me for this time, folks. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.